Yo, what's up everybody? It's me and Nabil here. And today, we're diving into a world of insane destruction. We're talking about those moments when demolition crews push that button, expecting a building to crumble. But instead, it's like the universe just says, nope. Think about it. These demolitions are planned down to the millisecond. Experts spend weeks, sometimes months, rigging a building with explosives, calculating every angle, every blast. It's supposed to be a perfectly choreographed symphony of destruction, but as we're about to see, sometimes those plans go out the window and chaos takes over. We're talking buildings refusing to fall, explosions going rogue, and debris flying further than a freaking home run ball. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe because we're about to witness 10 times demolition crews stare disaster in the face. Our first stop takes us to sunny Corpus Christi, Texas. Picture this, a 12-story beachfront condo, primed for demolition. The charges are set, the countdown commences, boom! But instead of crumbling into a neat pile of rubble, the building decides to play a little game of lean. Yeah, you heard me right. This massive concrete and steel structure just refused to fully give in to gravity. The building remained tilted at a precarious angle for weeks, becoming a bizarre tourist attraction and a constant reminder that even the best-laid plans can go haywire. Imagine the stress of the demolition crew, right? They're probably having nightmares about this leaning tower of concrete. Next up, we're headed to Glasgow, Scotland, for a demolition that turned into a 5-alarm nightmare. The old Glasgow hotel had seen better days, and it was time for it to meet its fiery end. But nobody expected the kind of fire they got. See, during the prep work, someone, somehow, missed a crucial detail, a hidden gas line. The second those demolition charges went off, it was like someone lit the world's biggest stovetop. Flames engulfed the building, reaching hundreds of feet into the air. Firefighters from across the city battled the blaze for hours, and the whole thing became this symbol of how quickly a controlled demolition can become anything but. From fire, we move to water with a demolition that took an unexpected dip. We're on the coast of Japan, where an outdated resort was slated for demolition. The plan seemed simple enough: bring the building down in a controlled implosion, letting the ocean claim the rest. But Mother Nature had other plans that day. The demolition crew underestimated the power of the ocean currents and the impact of the falling debris. Instead of collapsing neatly inward, the building took a nosedive. Literally, a giant chunk of the structure just slid right off the coastline and plunged into the sea. Waves of debris and seawater flooded the beach, turning a demolition site into a chaotic scene straight out of a disaster movie. Our next demolition disaster takes us to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, where a routine demolition turned into a scene of chaos and destruction. The target: a pair of aging apartment buildings slated to make way for something new. The problem? Somebody messed up the math, big time. When the charges detonated, one building didn't just crumble, it toppled over like a domino, slamming straight into its unsuspecting twin. The impact sent shockwaves through the neighborhood, shattering windows and showering the streets with debris. It was a stark reminder that when it comes to demolitions, even a small miscalculation can have massive consequences. Get ready for a story of a building so stubborn, so resistant to destruction, that it earned the nickname the Beast. This is the story of an apartment tower in Volgograd, Russia, that just refused to go down without a fight. Imagine the demolition crew prepping this massive structure, placing charges and bracing for impact. They hit the detonator, and then, silence. The beast stood its ground. But here's where it gets really wild. Instead of collapsing inward, the building decided to do the opposite. It exploded outward. Chunks of concrete and steel flew in every direction, crushing machinery and narrowly missing workers. It was like the building decided to fight back against its own demolition. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this next demolition disaster involves a high-speed projectile and a near miss that'll leave you speechless. We're in Melbourne, Australia, where a skyscraper demolition took a turn for the terrifying. Everything seemed to be going according to plan, until it wasn't. As the building imploded, a massive concrete slab weighing tons was launched into the air like a missile. This wasn't just some small chunk of debris. This was a concrete battering ram soaring through the air, narrowly missing a pedestrian who could have been turned into a pancake. The footage is absolutely terrifying, a stark reminder that even when you think you've planned for everything, demolition can throw you a curveball. Now we're headed to Kuwait City for a demolition that turned into a scene straight out of an action movie, complete with flying shrapnel and a whole lot of chaos. The demolition target was a towering structure in the heart of the city, and the event was being broadcast live on television. Talk about pressure. But as the explosives detonated, something went terribly wrong. The building didn't just implode, it shattered, sending a shockwave of pulverized glass outwards like an invisible tsunami. Spectators who had gathered to watch the spectacle were caught in the crossfire, showered with razor-sharp shards of glass. Even the Motor City isn't immune to demolition disasters, and this next story is, honestly, one for the books. Picture this: downtown Detroit, a massive skyscraper, and a demolition crew ready to make history. The charges were set, the crowds gathered, but when they pushed that button, nothing. The building just stood there, like it was flipping off gravity. Turns out there was a misfire with the explosives, leaving the skyscraper standing tall and proud, while the demolition crew scratched their heads in disbelief. The whole thing became a national joke, a symbol of urban decay and the challenges of bringing down the past. Get ready for a demolition disaster on an epic scale as we travel to China for a spectacle that went unbelievably wrong. Imagine this: a demolition site with not one, not two, but 5 massive cooling towers, all set to be demolished in a synchronized spectacle of destruction. It was supposed to be a marvel of engineering, a testament to China's growing power. But when the dust settled, something was wrong. Very wrong. Instead of 5 piles of rubble, there stood 5 leaning towers, twisted and mangled, but still stubbornly upright. The failed demolition became a haunting reminder of the risks involved when you're playing with this level of destructive power. Our final demolition disaster takes us to Naples, Italy, a city steeped in history and, as we'll see, prone to the occasional demolition mishap. The target was an old building slated for demolition to make way for new development, but instead of collapsing inward as planned, the building decided to pull a disappearing act, in reverse. As the charges detonated, the building didn't fall forward but instead imploded backward, collapsing into the street behind it like a collapsing house of cards. The unexpected collapse sent debris flying, damaging nearby buildings and rupturing a gas line, which added an explosive twist to the already chaotic situation. So there you have it, 10 times demolition crews stared into the abyss of disaster. These stories prove that even with the most meticulous planning, the most advanced technology, demolition is a high-stakes game where the laws of physics and a little bit of luck dictate the outcome. Demolitions are supposed to be controlled chaos, a carefully orchestrated ballet of destruction. But as we've seen, sometimes the building, the elements, or just plain old bad luck throws a wrench into the works, turning a routine demolition into a jaw-dropping spectacle. Remember to hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more mind-blowing content. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and always double-check those demolition plans.